There's a very interesting fact at the moment, and that is that so more people consume culture online through digital technology than come to buildings. And I think that what struck me most about how people enjoy digital art were the massive attendance figures at this exhibition in London. It was one of our most popular shows ever. Not just with young people, but with older people, middle-aged people, students, teachers, artists, because we all use technology and we're all interested in technology. And this exhibition showed a new way of using it. For most people today, or to date, they've seen technology as very functional. You know, we use technology to operate our homes, to book holidays, to surf the net, to communicate. This exhibition showed that you can use technology to create lovely works of art. I mean, the works of art you see in Decode are exquisite, they're gorgeous, they're playful, they're soft. I think for the first time people could see technology in a new light.
Select works yourself.
Usually in a museum you place like a big sign there, don't touch. And here actually the whole exhibition, the goal of the exhibition is to do the opposite of it, to actually interact and to engage people somehow with what's going on. So that's a cultural change, yeah. Very famous art can still be playful and that you can be sort of a part of that, yes? So it's open for your input.
Obviously there are some very enjoyable, fun pieces in Decode, and there are artists and designers who are using that kind of playful area in their work. But there are also very serious messages behind seemingly playful work. Well, there are works that are looking at, you know, the anxiety of the self, looking at how people are projecting themselves in contemporary society, how people consume and disseminate images, how nature is, how technology and nature kind of sit hand in hand or have a slightly uncomfortable relationship with each other. There's such a lot of examples, but you might say someone like Raphael Lozana-Hemmer, who's a huge name in contemporary art and design. He is asking us to kind of look at how images are disseminated on the internet. So you see kind of maybe some playful kissing images, you're drawn in, and then you start to think about, you know, how images are consumed on the internet, how freely they are, and what type of images are being consumed.
Making good art is always about something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. It's about merging realities, yes? I mean, it's about showing that art is not about static and being defensive and being classic, but it's also that the new world will be interactive and sustainable. I think every artist which is considered classic right now at that time was avant-garde and continuously misunderstood and misinterpreted, and you feel that with this art as well. Like 3-4 years ago, people said, what is it? And it's technology, and it doesn't have a soul, and all that sort of very old-fashioned idea about. Because for me, it doesn't matter if you use a piece of charcoal or a computer chip. You know, it's a tool. It's about what you want to tell. You know, what the idea behind is and how you want to provoke your audience. And I mean, the appearance and the type of tools doesn't really matter. For me, this is a new way of storytelling.
Digital is so important in people's lives now, and it's so exciting. I mean, when you see Decode, you're excited by the potential. I mean, it's incredible. We're not saying it's great art, but we're saying, I think, this is interesting. This is an interesting form of creativity. I would hope that lots of young people will come, and it'll be their first introduction to contemporary culture, which is what the garage, after all, is all about.
I think it's a whole new field. It's a whole new field, especially in this region, which is not necessarily technology driven, let's so to speak. I mean, it's not top of their agenda. But I think it's crucial to show to a young group of people, especially here in Moscow and outside in St. Petersburg and the other big cities, that art can also be something which is contemporary, yes, and which is modern, and which is done by very young people like me. I'm 31. And which at the same time is high-end and is being shown in the big musea worldwide, to sort of show that art is not something just holy, which is out there somewhere high above us in the sacred cathedrals, but it's something which operates within the now.
The show features international artists from across the globe, so you have really established people like Raphael Lozano-Hema, like John Mader, and then younger designers such as Ross Phillips or Mehmet Akin, who are also represented in the show. So the two are kind of sitting side by side, but the exhibition really does show some of the kind of fathers of this type of work.
I think it's fascinating to see how our world is changing, how it's sort of moving from analog to digital, how this tech is becoming a part of how we communicate with each other, how our reality is looking like. It's a very young profession which is still finding its way and its true meaning, yes? And exhibitions like this are the first encounters with that for curators, but also for a bigger audience.
Yes.